Hey, it's Kevin Beanie from Peace Punk Productions, which hasn't started yet. Still trying to get it running. So, government, let's do a little test there. No. Seeing if this topic is, necessary and important and people want to hear about it from me. So, today I want to talk about mind games and narcissists. It's funny because narcissists often are not even around, but you feel like they're playing mind games with you. It's like a psychic disease where they can just creep in at any time if you allow them the keys to your mind. So I am a little woo-woo, even though I'm a nihilist, and I do believe in energy and moving energy around in the world, and I think that you need to keep your aura clean, and you need to make sure that these guys aren't allowed into your space. So that's the first step, really. I'm all about proactive treatment and just not having abusive people in your life if you can help it. There's a lot of them, in America. There's a lot of people who are abusive. There's a lot of people who are narcissistic. I'm specifically speaking about narcissistic people who play mind games with you. They'll do things like put stalker devices in your phone or your computer to mess with you, so you think like the cops are stalking you. They'll place little tiles in your apartment or little cameras that can see what you're doing. Not that this has happened to me. Fortunately, I do not have this problem. I do have somebody on my computer, but I think it's just the police, because I have punk in my name or got arrested for something because I was having a panic attack and screamed, and they took me to the loony bin. So they took my computer at that point. When I got it back, it had an IP address on it. So just mentioning that out loud because it's a little weird. I don't know. Gonna get a new computer when I can afford it. Mentioned it a couple times, but they don't care about my budget. So maybe it's just somebody from China because I look at the I Ching. I don't know, dude. But my VPN won't work all of a sudden. I have no internet either, so I'm just making this video so I can put it up when it's working, and things will get back to normal around here. My mom's coming by, and so narcissists do mess with you. They'll mess with your Wi-Fi, they'll mess with your connections, they'll mess with your friendships, they'll spread information about you. These are all mind games that they play, but the mind games that they play that really mess with you are the ones that gaslight you and tell you that your reality is not real. So one thing I didn't notice until later in one relationship I was in was that every time that I had mentioned something violent or abusive or narcissistic, the person would say, "That didn't happen." It was so easy too because I was so gullible. I was just like, "Oh, really? I should just not trust my own judgment." Okay, and so pretty soon I started replacing my own judgment with the judgment of the narcissist, which is exactly what they want. That's how they pull your strings. There's a video I shared very early. I don't have those videos up anymore because I had to take them down. Just out of, they were a little too candid for the people in my life. I didn't want to hurt them. So it was more about keeping my human rights safe and making sure that that information was out there in case I disappeared, because I did disappear once. And this is not related to the narcissist, but yes, we just have all sorts of adventures here at Peace Punk Productions. I'd like to live a chill, peaceful life now, drama-free. So that's why I'm making these, and that's why I want to share them with you. Mind games that they play also include checking your phone, like telling you what you think, telling you one thing and doing another. That's a huge one. That mind game always drives me nuts. It's like, I'm gonna do this. They do a future faking thing. That's definitely a mind game. They tell you like, I'm gonna marry you and we're gonna have kids and our life's gonna be awesome. They're just hooking up with other people and totally treating you like a schmuck. So you should definitely dump them when you find out that they're cheating or they have cheated or they did cheat while you're together. Definitely not okay. I am not okay with it. I'm traditional. I did grow up LDS or Mormon, so I'm gonna say it's just very hard for me to deal with any sort of cheating or disloyalty. And they will play mind games like try to get you maybe to do sex things you don't want. I don't want to talk about those too much, but there's a lot of information that some of my ex-narcissists have made me do or done with them. So I have to say this publicly just because I'm a public figure. I do modeling, I do acting, I do music, and most of this proactive reason for doing this was to get this information out there from the horse's mouth, because there's some things going around, and if they want to use those to try to hurt me because I left them, then anybody knows that I'm the one who left and why I left. So it's definitely not okay for them to be using any information of things that they made me do in private. I just need to say that. It's from the heart today. I know a lot of times narcissists play these games when I don't want to be with them, where they will not let me be with anybody else. Like right now I have a huge crush on somebody. I don't even want to say that out loud, but I don't even want to, it's not even worth the risk right now. So just single, taking care of myself, and maybe that person, I'll tell them, in person someday if I can find their phone number. But otherwise, I don't want this information going around to that person, and I don't you know, you never know. They will find out. With their stalker devices in your phone, with their whatever they do. This sounds crazy, but anybody who's dealing with narcissists, you know, they are hardcore. They just are in line with top aggressive abusers a lot of the time. They will stalk your phone, stalk your computer, and then they'll act as if they didn't. They'll act as if they didn't. So they'll be like, da 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 da, you know, they found something on your computer that you did. And you're like, oh yeah, you're so interested in me. And then you don't realize that's information that they shouldn't have known, right? They shouldn't have had that information. So you have to start becoming a super detective. If you have ever dealt one, you're going to end up a super detective. I want to make this the title of the video, but I'm going to call it Mind Games Narcissists Do, because there's so many that they do. I really do recommend a book, Why Does He Do That by Lundy. It's one of the best books on violent abusers, and it starts you with the kind of getting used to what violent abusers are. They do exist in the world. I'm very sorry to say, I'm very sorry that I'm the person that has to bring this to you if you're not knowing this. Not everybody has a good heart. Not everybody has your best intentions in mind. There are people who are straight up psychic vampires, like narcissists, who will just suck the life out of you no matter what. And you know because when you speak with them, even emails, even text, anything, you feel crappy because there's something going on. There's a connection there that's not healthy. And you need to make sure that you keep yourself clean and healthy. If you have protection over your space, that is the most important thing you can do, especially as a woman. I'm going to say that. The most important thing you can have is your own space and protection over it. So make sure that you pay your rent, you know, work hard to make money, find jobs if you're on unemployment, whatever you need to do, pay for your space. That's number one, because if they can't come in your space, they can't take over your life. So second thing you need to do is make sure when you're dating that they don't do any of these mind games. They're really subtle. I'm not thinking of any off the top of my head, but some of the ones I mentioned, gaslighting, not any experiences that I've had. There was a time where I noticed somebody was like mirroring, you know, they did exactly what I was doing, and I didn't know if they were a psychopath, so I cut them off. And I don't think that they were. I think they just used psychopathic behaviors to pick up, you know, strippers and stuff, but like, I couldn't risk it being treated like I was not important, and strippers should be treated like they're important too. So anybody who's treating a stripper is not well is just they're not on my top list. So I know, the strippers know, they see how people really are. So strippers are like, they're amazing women. They are the hardcore of society out there, taking the hits for everybody, taking the people that nobody will take, you know, and for a guy not to be able to get laid is pretty, you know, guys love pretty women, so they make money doing something that's, you know, it shouldn't be a problem. I grew up, Mormon was a problem there, so I'm just saying that to all those communities, like, if women are charging, they're making more than you are. Are you in a marriage where you're not getting paid? Think about it. I'm just gonna throw that out there as a little rabble-rouser, but I'm not trying to start any, you know, I don't want to start any fights. I'm just saying, just trying to get you to use your mind. That's not anything that you should get angry at. You should be very happy with that. So if I was the one that made you do it, don't take it out on me, because you'll be thankful. Read material, you know, I used to work at a library. I loved it there. I would definitely work at a library again if I could get a job on the list. Definitely want to apply to the big branch library here, just because, you know, it's just to see. They have a social worker role and stuff like that, so it'd be a great job to have in addition to Peace Monk Productions. And it's great because you learn a lot. You learn all about the reference desk. See, I'm applying for jobs while I'm doing this too, because I definitely don't want Uncle Sam to be upset that I'm not looking for work, because I am looking for work, and this isn't paying me. So I'm definitely, you know, putting a lot of videos out there to try to build a channel so I can monetize it eventually, but that takes a long time, and it has to be a topic that everybody likes. They have to like me too. They have to like my pretty face. They have to want to come here to learn about narcissism. So we'll see. Is this our topic? Is this going to grow? It seems to be going good already, you know, people seem to be interested when I do clickbait titles, which is not what my coach wanted. He kind of just, you know, I have to talk about things that people are interested in. So today I'm going to talk about mind games. I'm going to talk about mind games narcissists play. Coming right back. So if you clicked it at this point, we're talking about the mind games that narcissists play. Can you think of any of your own? Put them in the comments down there. We love to talk about this stuff because it just makes us feel better, because most people don't do this. And most people don't spend all their time trying to recover from people who played mind games with them. And most people don't have this problem where, like, every time they talk with somebody, a mind game is being played with them. Either that didn't happen, and if you document like I do, and I document very well, and my memory is very good. I'm not crazy, unfortunately, but I definitely keep a lot of notes. I have a photographic memory. You know, there's nothing you can do to change my mind unless you've manipulated me with coercive control, and that is what they do. Coercive control, that's one of the biggest mind games that they use, and it's very intense. It's basically affecting your grooming, your health. People do this in the patriarchy too, and without even knowing it, they make women dress a certain way.